What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com, joined by my man Steve Shaw,
editorial director at TigerFitness.com.
And of course, we got an extra special guest to help you with this question specifically.
Extra special.
Extra special.
Cory Matthews here in the house, baby.
Not like short bus special, but like special, like
Yeah.
we love you, kind of special.
Yeah, no
Steve and myself, being that Steve does have his email on our site, and we get a lot of emails. I know our guy Derek over there, Ronnie, he gets the same damn emails, probably the same copy and paste from the same damn people.
Asking everybody.
Asking about sponsorships. Now, I'm going to save you all the rubbish I've said before. Wow, that was British. Rubbish. So much rubbish. I'm going to save you all that rubbish. Man, I'm high off that Skyline chili, bro. I'm sorry. I'm on a tangent. I'm on one.
You guys hot?
Do I what?
IFBBs?
No, I have skid marks.
I don't know if you guys are high on Skyline chili or high on the poops that you had after.
Oh man, I think the whole office is high on the fumes from those.
Yeah,
but anyway,
like
I'm going to save you all the stuff I've said about if you haven't accomplished anything, don't email us for a sponsorship, or don't, ROI. Like, we need to have an ROI, right? A return on investment. People email me, how do I get a sponsorship? I'll type back ROI. What's ROI? You're not getting a sponsorship because you don't even know what you're supposed to do. But I wanted to kind of transcend the whole, how do I get a sponsorship? And I want to, and we'll delve into that a little bit, but I want to kind of go into the whole, what do sponsorships entail? What do a lot of people get out of them? And what's expected of the athlete in general? And what better way to ask than asking an IFBB pro, someone who's, been an amateur, been someone who never won anything, then been someone who's a pro, who's a sponsored athlete, and probably one of the more successful ones because he's willing to work, but we'll get into that later. But, so tell us about being a sponsored athlete. Just do your thing.
Well, first of all, being a sponsored athlete is not all that everyone cracked up to be. I see it all the time. A guy who's first an amateur, never won a show, never even been to the Nationals, they want a sponsorship. And the dream is, I'm going to get a sponsorship, I'm going to make, I want a contract for $300,000 a year.
72 virgins.
You see what I'm saying? And the reality is, no. Only the top guys are going to make some big dollars like that on a contract.
Wait, 300 G's a year, Steve. I own this thing. I ain't getting that. How do I sign up for that?
I take 3 G's, you know what I'm saying?
Geez, I'll take
3, right?
Yeah.
And but that's the reality of it, is only the top guys are going to make that small margin of money.
Can you explain what you mean? You say top guys. Let's quantify it. Because these guys could be thinking top 500 guys. Is that many?
Not hardly. Not hardly. When you're talking about the top guys, you're talking about the top 3, maybe the top 4 in the Olympia.
So put it to you this way. That's the top 3 to 5 in the world. Everybody who competes in the world.
In the world.
In the world, including pros. 3.
Most sponsorships, if someone wants a sponsorship, even pros, pro athletes, a lot of them only get $500 of product a month, or however many product they get a month, allotment, and that's a sponsorship. Some of these companies, what they will do is they will help provide some type of accommodations for traveling in the event that you're going to compete. Also, some of these companies, what they will do is they will help market you, and that's one of the good things. If they want to take you and have you, they'll market you and promote you a little bit in different areas. But it doesn't come easy, because the thing about it is they have to have something to work with. They have to have someone to market.
Somebody that understands what the opportunity that they're given.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It's a work ethic. You have to be willing. If you want a sponsorship, whether you're an amateur or whether you're a pro, whatever, you have to be willing to work. You have to be willing to put some work in. You have to be willing to work hard in the gym. You have to be willing to stick to your diet and do what it takes to be successful on stage. But more importantly, you have to be able to, have a name. You have to be marketable. You have to be presentable. You have to be someone who provides himself as a professional. And a lot of times it's more than just having a cute face and a smile.
Well, that's a good point.
That's how Steve gets by.
Yeah, well,
the cute face, the smile.
Yeah, well, I get tons of emails. You guys get them as well from people that'll be like, "Hey, I'm Mr. Joe Schmo. I won second place or first place at this. A lot of people have good bodies. A lot of people have trophy cases. But the reality is there's a million people out there with good bodies. So how do you stand out?
Well, that's the thing, is just because you win a show and you're going to the Nationals, it does not mean that you qualify for some kind of sponsorship. Because the reality is there's 100 other people or 1,000 other people just like you trying to get a sponsorship, and they're sending these emails to these different companies, and they're sending these pictures, and they're talking about they won this show or that show. And the reality is, you know, I mean, if you're going to want a sponsorship, the company that you want to be sponsored by, they're going to ask this question: what can you do for the company? How can you make this company grow? How can you be an asset to the company that you're asking to be sponsored by? And a part of the way is, you know, like I said, it can't be based on just having a nice body, because everyone on stage really has a nice body.
If you have that, and standard person off the street come and look at a national level show or even a good regional show, they're not going to be able to tell the difference between first and second or third, because they all look good. It comes down to very minor differences. The key is how do you market yourself, how well you speak, how you can articulate yourself, how big your social media following is. But I think that a lot of people want to get reap the benefits, the rewards, before they put in the work. And really, you shouldn't be getting paid to follow your dream. Like, and I'm not, if I had a dime for every email that's like, oh, trust me, I'm gonna be big one day. It's like, okay, not once has anybody proven me wrong on that.
You know, here's the thing. Not that I'm making $100,000 or a few $100,000 a year. I'm not gonna tell you what I'm making.
He's at 7 figures. That's punk money.
But I will tell you this: before I got any kind of dime from any of my sponsors or anything like that, I was willing to do demo work for free. I was willing to do booth assignments for free. I was willing to do social media for free. I was willing to do all that because it was a part of what I was doing anyway. What happened was, you know, after you do things like that and you prove yourself, you know, you say to yourself, or you show the others who, you know, you want to be sponsored by, that, hey, you know, I can put in this work. You know, I'm worthy of my hire. Then you get people that are interested in you. They see that, you know, hey, you're not just some slouch that, you know, you just want a free ride. You know, you're willing to work for it, and that's what we mean by work. It's, you know, the guy that I pattern myself after and the guy that I look up to most in the whole industry. I've seen Ronnie Coleman sign autographs for hours upon hours upon hours, and he would not leave until the last fan has gotten an autograph and a picture. And you know, people say, well, I want that. Well, guess what? There's another side to it. You got to be willing to travel, and you got to be willing to make all these demands. Stay in shape at the same time, get ready for a show, and still be marketable. And you can't be like, you know, some jerk on the street.
No, so behind the scenes, people don't see this with me, and you only have 12,000 followers on Instagram and 15,000 on YouTube, but they don't see behind the scenes. Even with a small following, we get hammered with questions. And you're probably just like me. You take every question seriously. You're building relationships with people. You're taking people seriously. And even though you're not Mr. Olympia like Ronnie Coleman, you're putting in the work to build that following.
Yeah. So I have a question, just to surmise all this. So let's say you don't have a sponsorship. It's kind of a trick question. How do you afford to be a bodybuilder if you don't have anybody paying your way?
Well, if you're looking at bodybuilding as getting some kind of significant return on it, find something else to do. If you want to afford it, you afford it just like anyone else who has a dream. You do whatever it takes. There's some kind of sacrifice, some kind of place in your life that you have to make if you're going to go and experience, you know, the ultimate of what you're trying to pursue.
My advice would be to get a job. And bodybuilding shouldn't take much more. We train for, you're pro. I'm mediocre, but we train for an hour today. There's our workout. All we gotta do other than that is eat. I don't know what these guys without a job do all day. I'm trying to figure that out. They play video games.
You know, when I was an amateur, I worked at a warehouse in a forklift in a whole bunch of heat, and I worked for hours upon hours. And when I was getting ready for a show, I'd go to do my cardio in the morning before work for an hour, go to work for 10 hours, go to the gym, and if my boss was or my supervisor, was merciful to me because he knew I was getting ready for a show, he'd let me do an 8-hour shift instead of a 10-hour shift. Then I could go do my training and then do my cardio and then go home. And it's like, you know what? How are you gonna? It's not the, and this is why everyone wants sponsors, I guess, because it's not something that you can just for everybody. You have the food alone is expensive, and if you do get a sponsorship, then you're pretty blessed to be having someone give you $500 worth of supplements because that's pretty much a necessity. If you're going to be at your A game, but not only that, there's so many things that come into play when you're dealing with sponsorships. How you afford it. A lot of guys like myself, I didn't. I had to work for it, and then I also was very blessed and fortunate to have someone in my corner who was able to help me out. So if you surround yourself with people that believe in you, I think that's another hempful help for you.
Basically, the moral of the story is, it ain't easy, it ain't free. Get a job and win something.
And build relationships in the industry.
All right, guys, click on the link down below. Ronnie Coleman's signature series at tigerfitness.com. Yeah, buddy, pre-workout. That allowed for a terrific arm workout today. All right, guys, thanks for watching. That's not a game.
Yep.